I want to show you how to make some actions in Photoshop. So this is my cute daughter modeling for a holiday mini session that I am advertising for. And I'm just going to pull this into Photoshop and then show you how I make some of my actions that I use in newborn and young child photography. Sometimes often will use one or two of these in my family photos as well. First off, over here in Photoshop, you see a line of things. It may look slightly different in yours, whether you have a PC or Mac, or whether if you've organized things differently. But if I'm just in the basic editing section, I see this, which is your history, but the other tab is actions. So they have some default actions: vignette selection, frame channel, wood frame, cast shadow. So they have some built-in ones, but I have made some of my own to help speed up my workflow. So these are my newborn actions, and this is what I have in here. I have one for redness, I have one for a blur for the background, I have a vignette, a sharpening, and a smooth skin, which is really similar to the blur. So let's look at these in order as I have them listed. Smooth skin. So you copy the layer, add a Gaussian blur. I'm trying to remember radius, 10 pixels. The nice thing is the action shows you exactly what you're doing to the photo. Then I make a mask and invert it. Select current layer and name it smooth, and then selected the mask portion of the channel so that it was ready right as I opened it to just start painting. So let me show you how I make that. When you come in to make a new action, you probably want to make a new folder, which is just the folder button here. And then you can add, with the plus in the square, add a new action. So we'll just say smoothness. So it's slightly different from my other one. And it's setting in it in newborn actions. I don't have any shortcut for it, no color. Then you push record, which is that little circle right there. So anything I do after this point will be saved in this action, so that you can just click the action instead of doing all these steps every single time you want to edit a photo. Then I push stop on the record and our action is done. So let me test out the action, make sure it works. So you go to smoothness and click play. It's thinking. So I did some wrong things in my action. This is why you test it. But because I accidentally added that extra mask, it still had it in there. So we need to redo this. So I'm going to delete that action. And now that I've practiced doing an action, we're going to walk through it again. Yes. All right, so let's try this again. Select on newborn, select new action, smoothness, record. Then we Command J to copy the layer, go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, it's still at 10 pixels, which is right where we want it. Click OK. Select the mask tool, then come up here and click invert, or do the shortcut of Command I. Then we're going to rename it smooth. We'll do the capital M again. Off click the name, click on the mask itself, and push stop. Okay, so that should be done. Click on the top, delete this layer. Yes. Play action, make sure it works. There we go. Now, I should have it ready. If I click on the brush, set my opacity for the brush or whatever else I want to do, then I should be able to draw on this picture and it smooth out my daughter's face. Which normally I go in and heal things first, but... And look at that! So, it is our smoothing tool. As I said in a video that I use this tool in, I like to work between 30 and 40% on these drawing tools, but you can do whatever floats your boat. I do a white, just basic layer, and then I'll go in with black do a soft erase on the areas where I need to do a stronger erase on, so we have good details. Then I'll turn up the opacity on the black and do my full erase on areas like the eyes, the line of the nose, and the lips. And then areas like the chin. I want to make sure the collar and clothes didn't get any blur on them, and hair. We do a little erase from there. Okay, that's her face. Now, so that's smoothing. Then we add a sharpening. So if we go back to my sharpening one, it's duplicate the layer. Then we go to high pass, again, radius 10 pixels. It's a nice, simple level for doing these kinds of things. And then we make the mask and invert it. So let's make our own sharpening tool. We click on newborn, add action, sharpen it, and click record. So Command J to copy the layer, filter. Now this is where I have to remember where high pass is. You guys are walking through this with me. And you don't just do sharpen because that sharpens every single pixel. There it is, other, high pass. But high pass just pulls out the lines so that you're getting the details, but you're not affecting the skin or those kinds of things. You're just sharpening details and lines. Click OK. Then we select mask and Command I or up here to invert it. Then I go in and name it sharp as a tack. Tack? I don't remember how to spell tack. Sharp as a tack. Select the mask and push stop. I tell you, selecting the mask is really important. For a long time I had forgotten to select the mask on my smoothing tool. And so every time I did the action, I had to go in and select the mask and then select the brush, which you don't think would take a lot of time, but when you're doing 100 photos, that adds a lot of time to your workflow. So make sure you select the mask. Then we're gonna go to my brush. We're gonna take it down to between 30 and 40. Make sure it's on white. And this is why I like that it shows what the actions are. So you need to add something to this. We're going to click on our layer, and here's how you add something to your thing if you messed it up. We're going to click the last thing we did on our action, and we're going to click record. And then we need to add one more thing to our sharpen. You need to come in here to the blend option and click soft light. Then push stop. Oh, select your mask, push stop. Now it should work properly. This is why you test, make sure everything works properly. There we go. Now it's just adding a little bit of sharpening, not a ton. And I do it on key features of the face, hair, clothes, things that would be in focus and that you want to pop out just a little bit. I could come down here and do it on her feet and hands, that kind of thing. So then if I come in here, I'm going to show you the difference. No mask, mask, no mask, mask. See how it just darkens and sharpens those features. It doesn't mess with the skin, but it sharpens the features. Okay, now let's delete that and make sure it actually worked properly. So delete layer. Yes, you could also just mute the layer, turn it off. Then we're going to select sharpen it, play. And we'll test it with the brush. Worked. So there's how to make those. And then the last one that you're going to make, I'm going to quickly draw these in again just to make sure we have everything we need. Oh, I like to do chin lines, body lines too when I do sharpening. Let me pull this down. One of the reasons why I stay between 30 and 40% is that if I need something a little sharper, it's really easy just to draw on it again. Whereas if you do it at 100% and then adjust the opacity of the mask itself, it's a lot harder to get the details that you need right where you need them. Okay, vignette. Let's show you how to do a vignette. Again, newborn actions. Big, record. That's right. When you do this one, you don't want to save your marquee tool into the action because every photo is a slightly different size. So if you have it one size, you're going to have to adjust it every single time you do a different photo. So I'm going to stop this. It just has the layer copy in right now. I'm going to draw this out. No, you don't want to have the layer copy in there. I'm going to delete that specific action. You're learning how to do things like this. So you want to copy your own layer, do the marquee tool, and then start recording. It's a step that you have to add, but that means you get to be more specific on how you do your vignette. Push record, select your dotted line, feather, then you're going to select 250 pixels. Okay. Right click again, find select inverse, and click that. Then it's going to blur your edge, not the center of your photo. Then we're going to go up here to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. That is also going to be 250 pixels or something around there. You can mess with these and decide which one you like best. But this is what I've used for a while and I really like it. Then I push OK. And you're going to come here and select mask. And then you should see a white rectangle around a black rectangle in your mask layer. Then you're going to come here to your blend option and select multiply. And that should give you a dark layer. I've also used it where I did screen for a white picture. I'll show you that in a second. Let's pause this, stop recording. If you want a lighter vignette, you just push screen. And you can adjust how, like, once your vignette's made, you can make it blend any way that you want to. But multiply and screen are my favorites. So like I'm doing a winter scene mini session as well, and I will add the screen vignette so it gives it that snowy outer feel. But here we're on multiply. And then this one, I usually have these between 25 and 50. Sometimes I'll be a little stronger depending on what the photo is. You want to make sure your vignettes aren't strong enough that they're a distraction, but that they help bring the focus into the center of the photo. So like if I had this up here, you could say that is a vignetted photo. But if I pull it down here to around, I'm gonna say like 45, then it's helping focus the light in the center of the photo, but it's not yelling in your face saying this is a vignetted photo. And there's how you make those 3 editing actions. You can make an action for almost anything. If there's something that you do to almost every single photo, make an action, because it's going to make your life so much easier.